Heroes of justice. They're in practically every story. It's the cookie-cutter model of every heroic tale, making up 99% of protagonists when you were 13. And it was peak. The protagonist stands up to the bad guys, declares what's right, maybe collects a harm along the way, and the story rewards them for it. It's a simple and easy growth path for the MC that the viewers could easily understand and know without a doubt that they are the good guy. This archetype has been around since stories could even be told, and with that comes different interpretations of what justice is. Bringing us to today, an all-you-can-eat buffet of different types of justices. You want heroic justice? Idealistic? Absolute? Justice that questions morality? Morally questionable judgment? The type of justice character stands for often defines them, being utilized as a device to enhance their greatness. Fate is not one of these stories, however. They do have characters that stand for justice and embody it. However, fate makes them pay for this belief. And it doesn't matter which timeline you look at either, which is a lot. Like, what is all this? In practically every version of fate, someone stands for justice. Yeah, even this one. And in almost every case, it destroys them, mentally, physically, or morally. Fate doesn't celebrate justice. It reacts the same way as a parent hearing their kids say they want to be a YouTuber. By being the ever-loving shit, letting them walk down their own path and facing the consequences. The consequences of becoming a hero of justice. Fate isn't attacking morality. It's attacking the idea of absolute justice. The kind of justice Shiro idolizes, believing he can save everyone. The world treats that belief the same way the Grail treats wishes. It twists them by taking a warm, gooey cinnamon roll and putting ghost peppers on it. There's definitely more flavor, just not the kind you wanted. Justice comes at a cost, and the belief that you can save everyone isn't just idealistic, it's arrogant and misguided. However, Shiro believes he can do this at the start of every route in Stay Night. He believes he can save everyone, but never asks what he must sacrifice, or who he must become in order to fulfill that wish. And because of how slow Shiro is to answer this question, fate answers it for him in 3 different ways. In Unlimited Blade Works, we see how he becomes Archer and bears every burden on his own. As a result, signing away his life and turning into a counter-guardian. An ever-living tool of justice, forced to slaughter others, and forcing Shiro to live in a personal hell for centuries, until he forgets what he's even fighting for. In Heaven's Feel, he abandons the idea of saving everyone entirely. He chooses Sakura over the world because fate forces him to realize that saving everyone means losing someone close. In Mind of Steel, he doubles down and becomes colder than Kiritsugu ever was, turning into a machine of justice, sacrificing his emotions and those closest to him for the needs of the many. Every path tests his beliefs, and none of them let him survive unscathed. Archer is one of the saddest realizations of a dream in all of media. If Shiro represents the act of chasing a dream, then Archer represents what happens when you reach it, and when that belief is taken to its logical conclusion. He did save people. He did become a hero of justice. But in doing so, he signed away his freedom. The world didn't reward him for doing this either. The people he wished to save feared him, ending the life of their savior. But even then, he never resented them. He still wished to save others, even as a counter-guardian. However, at the cost of becoming a tool and doing so through methods he didn't wish to use. Summoned into disasters, forced to wipe out entire cities before they even had the chance to become a threat, over and over again, for centuries. This is what absolute justice becomes in Fate. But Shiro didn't invent this dream. He inherited it from the man who saved his life and gave him a reason to live. Kiritsugu Emiya. Kiritsugu is the road where Shiro's dreams originates. He believes in justice too, just a different, more utilitarian kind. Not saving everyone, but saving the many, no matter the cost. If sacrificing 10 people saves 100, he'll sacrifice the 10. He believes if he can make the right choice, he can create peace. And fate punishes him for that belief. He spends his entire life choosing who lives and who dies, convincing himself that every sacrifice is worth it. And when he finally wins the Holy Grail War, reaching for the miracle that was supposed to justify everything, the Grail shows him the truth, that there's no clean justice or perfect outcome. Just like Archer, he wins but loses everything. His wife, his illusion, his belief that the system could grant a righteous solution. Bars! If this feels familiar, that's because it should. as the same writer who helped create Fate Zero also wrote Madoka Magica, a show about magical girls saving the world in this cat-dog thing. In Madoka Magica, when they first become magical girls, they get the chance to make any wish. Wealth, fame, power.
You can have it.
And Madoka asks a very similar question. What happens when you make a selfless wish? Nothing good, that's for sure. Not because the girls are evil, but because the system is built to extract a cost. The more selfless the wish, the more brutal the consequences. The Grail in Fate works the same way. It doesn't reject your wish, it interprets it. And that interpretation follows the user's logic to its most extreme form. And then there's Oath Under Snow, a world where Kiritsugu no longer believes in the Grail, and instead believes in Miyu, a literal miracle child, and wants to use her to fix the world without the Grail's corruption. And then he dies literal days after meeting her, entrusting his dream to Shiro once more. What a guy. This is probably the smartest Shiro we see, however, as he says,
"Nah, I'm gonna do my own thing."
Choosing to protect Miyu as his sister and choosing her over the world. But even that comes at a cost. He fights the world alone, and fails to keep his promise to both Miyu and Kiritsugu, dying alone but giving Miyu a chance at real happiness at the cost of his own. Even with how powerful he is in this universe, Fate still doesn't give him a clean victory, and it never will. That's the point Fate is trying to make. There will always be sacrifice, loss, and pain. It hates the idea that justice can exist without suffering. Whether you try to save everyone or just one person, someone pays. Kiritsugu pays with his faith, Archer pays with his eternity, and Shiro pays with his body. And Oath Under Snow proves that narrowing your justice doesn't free you from cost. And then there's the Holy Grail War, which is built on the promise of a miracle. And that promise is a lie. Aside from the fact that it almost always gets corrupted before someone can make a wish from it, the Grail doesn't grant wishes, it interprets them. And that interpretation is where everything goes wrong. Kiritsugu wants world peace, and the Grail shows him genocide is the best option. The Grail doesn't bend your ideal. It forces your ideal through the harshest possible logic, because in Fate, the world doesn't reward good intentions. The Grail War itself is built on contradictions, and the system isn't broken by accident. It's designed to expose the flaw in believing there's a clean solution. Fate doesn't hate justice. It hates the illusion that justice can exist without suffering. That's why Shiro suffers the most out of anyone, because he refuses to accept that there must be suffering. Every time someone tries to define what's right in the world answers back. Kiritsugu tries to save the many, and he loses everything that made him human. Archer tries to save everyone, and is forced to slaughter those he wished to protect for eternity. Shiro tries to save everyone, and every route demands he pays a fee. Even when he narrows it down to one person, even when he abandons the abstract idea of saving everyone, he still pays. Because Fate isn't an epic about overcoming adversity. The servants have already lived through their own. It's a story about ideals being tested, and it's never without consequence. Being a hero of justice in other shows might be cool, but if you try to do it in Fate, the lightest you'll get off with is an eternity of suffering. So maybe just be more like Gilgamesh. I don't really know. I'm just some guy on the internet. And before I go, big shout out to everyone who supported the last video. Seriously, it means a lot and my confidence is through the roof right now. Maybe a little too much. I still don't have a dedicated hater yet, so if anyone wants that title, the comment section's right there. First come, first serve. But seriously, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll keep making these and hopefully improving the quality each time. Until then, may check out another video I made. Should be right here.